Welcome to the Rich Report, a podcast with news and information on high-performance computing. Today, my guest is from HP. We have Bill Mannel. Bill, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Rich. How are you?
Well, good. You know, we're out here at ISC 2015 in Frankfurt this year.
Yes.
And we just wrapped up HP Cast. So how did that go for you?
It went really well, actually. We had great attendance. We were a little concerned about the July date, but we had just about as many as we did last year. So it was very exciting for us.
Well, good. Good to hear. Well, Bill, I thought what we'd have you do for the folks our listeners out there is kind of, give us the talk you gave, because I thought it was quite interesting, especially the fact that you have a new business unit focused on HPC and Big Data.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, I brought your slides up. Why don't we start there?
Okay, sure. I'm Bill Mannel. I'm the Vice President and General Manager for HPC and Big Data at HP. So one of the more interesting things that's happening to HP is we're going through the separation. So as you know, Rich, we're taking a $120 billion company and splitting it up into a couple of 55 or 50 to $60 billion companies. One focused on the personal computer space and printing, and the other focused on called a Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, focused on enterprise type systems and services and workloads. My particular business unit is actually a part, or will be a part, of Hewlett-Packard Enterprise.
Yeah.
So one of the interesting things is, as we went through this separation planning, we wanted to really look at some of the interesting market trends and investments that we could make. And one of those that we decided to put a lot of focus on was high-performance computing and big data. And so we actually created a new global business unit called the High-Performance Computing and Big Data Global Business Unit, and I'm the general manager of that.
Okay.
So it's very exciting, and a lot of this is relative to some of the trends we see in the marketplace. So as we go forward, we see the impact of the cloud and big data and some of the security concerns that we have. Also, the fact that more and more customers want to sample their data, sample their compute in many different ways, whether it's from their phone, from their tablet, from their home, many different ways as we go forward. So all of these things are creating the needs for speed, the needs for big data, the needs for management of those things as well. And this is where HP is focusing its energies going forward from an enterprise perspective. And so this is a part of what my business unit is tasked to do. So as a part of really understanding this and helping customers get value out of these changes, we're introducing customers to what we call 4 transformations. So one transformation is what we call transformation to a hybrid infrastructure. So in other words, helping them become more flexible with their infrastructure that they have, going from premise to cloud, back and forth, how that works best. One is protecting their digital enterprise, so protecting their data, protecting the security of their compute resources. Another, and this is where my particular group falls in, is empowering the data-driven organization. So in other words, all the data is out there. How do I get the most value out of it? And finally, enabling workplace productivity. So in other words, making the employees as effective as possible. And so part of these set of transformations is really trying to move IT from a very IT outcomes-driven capability to something that drives value into the corporation, allows the corporation to offer new services to get more value out of its data, to help it make decisions in real time. So these are all parts of our transformations as we go forward, and things that Hewlett-Packard Enterprise will be helping customers do over time. And so if I break out my piece of this empowering the data-driven organization, this is HPC historically has been around data, creating data, analyzing data, saving data, reanalyzing data. And as we go forward, we get concerned about things like efficiency, speed, and scale. So this is really where HPC has its roots from that standpoint, and big data has been a part of HPC for decades from that standpoint. It's gotten really popular in enterprise-type workloads. And now as we go forward, we're seeing more and more enterprises that want to get value from the data. In a lot of ways, they need to use HPC concepts to get there. And so we see a lot of challenges managing the data, getting real-time value out of it, and it starts to bring in the same sorts of techniques that we've been familiar with for many years. Now, as far as my strategy is concerned, I'm going to really focus my engineering team. So I have an engineering team today that works on the Apollo products. Really going to focus the engineering team on optimizing around high-performance computing and big data. So I'm sure you're familiar with the fact that over time, HP has had a very wide portfolio, and we've tended to apply various parts of that portfolio to high-performance computing. Now we're actually going to focus a particular product line on high-performance computing and big data going forward. Now, in addition to that, we're not just going to focus on the hardware, but we're also going to focus on solutions and also a partner ecosystem. So these are areas where we think we can help drive value for customers by getting them up to speed more quickly, more effectively in terms of managing their data and managing their HPC. And then finally, we'll also be building advisory services as we go forward. So the advisory services will do everything and anything from helping a customer understand exactly what kind of configuration they need, getting it installed, getting it up and running, and then finally, even in some cases, helping them finance that investment as well. Now, this is a good overview of some of the workloads we'll be involved in. It's not necessarily exclusive from that standpoint, but you see on the left side, we've got big data workloads. So object storage is an area that is growing fantastically. I think they're saying 28% CAGR from that perspective. We work with some proprietary partners like CleverSafe and Scality in that area. But interestingly enough, HP is the leading contributor to the OpenStack initiative. So we do it from both the open side as well as the proprietary side, giving most value for what customers need. From a virtualized storage standpoint, interestingly enough, our Apollo 4000 product is a great product for running Exchange. So we have a number of customers that do that. So very apropos in the enterprise space. On the data analytics side, we work with the Hadoop vendors such as Cloudera and Hortonworks, and also with the Apache Hadoop to build reference architectures for those particular versions of Hadoop. We're also working with our own Haven team internally, so we do have a set of assets that came in through our Vertica acquisitions, and so we also build reference architectures around that. In the HPC workload space, we do everything from very fast response in the case of high-frequency trading in the financial space, to a lot of typical simulation and modeling that you'll see in the oil and gas space with seismic processing or reservoir modeling. On the CAD and CAE space, we work with a lot of the traditional CAE applications, life sciences, very similar. And finally, we support a lot of customers doing custom workload development in the academic and research space. Now, I've got experts throughout this particular area that are in a lot of ways helping these ISVs optimize their codes for HP architecture and working with customers. And then underneath, you can see some of our partners from Intel, Mellanox, NVIDIA, and Seagate that are integral to our hardware. We build them in from that standpoint. Now, one really exciting thing is as a part of enabling our partner ecosystem, we're announcing an alliance with Intel. So there's a lot of work that we want to do. There's a lot of opportunity for HP as a big enterprise company to spread HPC and big data goodness throughout a lot of enterprises, but it's a lot of work. And we don't have all the smarts, we don't have all the people, we don't have all the access right now. So we've decided to partner with Intel because of some of the capabilities they've invested in from an HPC and big data standpoint. So we'll be taking a lot of Intel technologies, what they call the HPC Scalable System Framework. So we're familiar with a lot of these technologies, such as Xeon Phi, such as the Omnipath architecture, such as the work they've done with Xeon and with their NVM RAM type technology. We'll be integrating that into the Apollo line going forward, from entry on the Apollo 2000 all the way up to the most powerful supercomputer we have, which is the Apollo 8000, with the highest per teraflop or per rack teraflop that we have. And obviously, we need to work with our ISVs to make sure that we're creating the right kind of solutions for customers and be able to deliver the right solutions to customers at the right scale. Now, this actually gives a good picture of how this comes together. So you can see at the very bottom, the Intel Scalable System Framework becomes the ingredients to our Apollo innovation, where we build solutions focusing on density and power efficiency and performance, again, focusing on the ISV ecosystem. We're going to start, because it helps to be focused, we're going to start in more limited ISVs, so financial services, oil and gas, and life sciences. We'll probably move into places like weather as we get more experience and have more solutions. And then finally, one thing that's really exciting is we're setting up a couple of centers of excellence. And the centers of excellence are located in a couple sites. One in Grenoble in France. We've already got one that's functioning. We're going to expand that one with more people and more system resources. And then we'll build a new one in the Americas based in Houston. And the centers of excellence will allow us to bring in new equipment, to have both Intel and HP applications engineers working together to optimize code. And because of where they are in Grenoble and Houston, where I have engineering teams, they can also work directly with the engineering team. So apps engineers working with core engineers to optimize the code. And by the way, we can bring customers in, and they can work on their applications on early access hardware and all these things. So allow customers to get engaged with code modernization type so they could get the most out of these new technologies. Again, from the Apollo standpoint, we'll be focusing on the Apollo. The Apollo 4000 is our particular product line for storage. So if you're familiar with the old SL 4500 product line, the next generation is actually the Apollo 4000 line. So we announced that in May, and now we've gone from an entry-level product, the 4200, all the way up to a high-end product in the 4530. We'll be adding to that product over time. And then again, from the overview across the Apollo line, we start on the left with liquid-cooled supercomputing, highest performance possible. Next, the Apollo 6000 rack level, but focusing on those customers that have hundreds or thousands of servers. The Apollo 4000, as I mentioned before, is all about big data. And then finally, the 2000 is an entry-level product that can start as a single server, a single 4-node cluster for a small and medium business to kind of get them into HPC. And then again, to emphasize the fact that it's not just about hardware. We're also about services, so consulting services that help you pick the right hardware, implementation services that get it up and running well, support to keep it running over a period of time, and then finally, I mentioned HP Financial Services to help you pay for it from that standpoint.
Yeah.
And so again, in summary, as far as my strategy goes, I'm going to start with optimized hardware, centering on the Apollo line, build solutions and a partner ecosystem, heavily focusing on the Intel Alliance to allow us to work together and integrate all that new technology, and then also build advisory services around the whole.
Okay. Well, Bill, this is fascinating to watch from my perspective. I mean, here you are. HP's been the leader in HPC for market share for as long as I can remember.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
30-some% of the market, and this splitting, as you say, becoming HP Enterprise, has really provided you with an opportunity, hasn't it?
Yes, it does.
I mean, forming this business unit. We've been in an HP Cast here for 2 days, and I didn't hear one person mention any trepidation about your company splitting in half.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised. I mean, did you get that impression? Are people on board with this? Your customers?
Yeah. For the most part, we haven't had a lot of concerns. We're actually on target. We're feeling good. The real scheduled date is for 1st of November, but we're doing essentially a system cutover here in less than 3 weeks. So at 1st of August, we'll actually be functioning as 2 separate companies. So very exciting. We feel very good about things as we go forward. And again, as I mentioned previously, we can look at different business opportunities, and this is where HPC looks really attractive to us. And like you said, even though we're a large portion of the market today, we believe that with our enterprise scale and our enterprise access, we can grow the HPC market significantly as we go forward, and centered specifically around, how does one get value out of all this big data?
Yeah, and it's certainly not going anywhere, right? It's continuing to grow, and now you're coming at it with purpose-built systems. Okay,
Yep.
and I think that is a key to success, because you've done an amazing, taking your server products and here your HPC, go build something with it.
Yep.
But now this approach, I think you should be commended. Apollo is just a really impressive machine.
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got a very large team actually based in Houston that has a history of building a lot of equipment for the service providers, and so the service providers care about density and power efficiency and all these good things. So it's a great match for what a lot of HPC customers care about as well.
Okay, well, I'm really looking forward to hearing more from HP this week at ISC 2015, and I want to thank you for coming on the show today.
Oh, you're welcome, Rich, and thank you.
Good job.